Hey, hello, James. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, mate. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, probably agree with 75% of what you say, which is good.
We'll
right?
talk about the other 25% next time. All right.
Okay. So yesterday I came from Shanghai.
Yes.
And I've been living in Shanghai for, I'm going to say, plus 10 years.
Right.
And it's definitely very north of plus 10 years.
Yeah.
And for the last month, my office, everyone has been locked in their compounds.
Wow.
Now, there's different levels of locked in your compound, and everyone's going to give you a different variation of what locked in your compound means. Because what happens from the central government to the local government, they will tell the local compound management, okay, lock them people in, and it's kind of a vague statement. So then the local compound management, they will lock people in.
Yes.
And so that means the richer areas, maybe some people have a garden, so they can walk around the garden. Other people are living in the more normal areas where they're small apartments, no gardens. They're locked into their apartments. If you leave, maybe they put a magnet on your door, these kind of things. So you're locked in. So there's different levels of locked in. Some of it's acceptable. Some of it's not so acceptable. Now, the way it started in Shanghai last month, they said to everybody 2 days. And so no one prepared anything. So you go in for 2 days, and then they say, actually, we add 2 days, we add 2 days, we add 7 days, we add 7 days. And so, but what the government will do then, what they will say then is, this compound, this area has been good. You're allowed out. So last week when I was allowed out, my compound was allowed out. Right. I walked out, but then the local Chinese social media about me specifically said, why is he left the compound? And my repost was, because the government rule is we're allowed out. But it doesn't work like that. So the central government says you're allowed out, but then your local compound management doesn't want to take the risk of them causing any trouble for any of their leaders. So then it was, well, actually, you can't go out. So in the big statistics, in the international news, it might say Shanghai's opened or this area is opened, but that's at a government level. But actually, at the building management level, everyone's locked in.
Good grief.
And so I left yesterday. Now, to leave, it is not that simple. Out of Shanghai now, there's and it took me a week to prepare to leave. It's really not easy. 4 different apps, all of them in Chinese, to get out of the country. Now, I went to Hong Kong. Why did I go to Hong Kong? Because I'm British, but I'm also a Hong Kong resident.
Right.
That means I'm allowed to go to Hong Kong. If I complete the various forms, I can go there with no quarantine, which is an important thing. And so we prepared all this, but then you're not allowed on the road. It's illegal to leave your compound, and then the rules become vague again.
And applied according to who's in the chat. I don't want to run out of time, John, and the news is around the corner. How do you account for the draconian nature of the measures in Shanghai? Part of it is going to be the point you've raised about who's doing the imposing, but I mean, objectively, this is epic in terms of application. In a city of 25 million people, why? If I were to really bring it down to brass tacks, what are they so worried about?
It's political. There's no other reason.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with COVID. We all know COVID's lost its strength. Everybody knows that.
Well, we certainly thought so.
The Chinese know that. And out of all the cities to do it to, Shanghai is the most connected, intelligent, cosmopolitan city of them all.
Right.
And so pure communism has tried the classic groupthink, which they did in the 60s and 70s, and that worked in the 60s and 70s. The trees are blue. But now pure communism has gone against social media. And so there's this war now in Shanghai between social media and the Communist Party. Why is this war going on? She doesn't get re-elected. He stays in power in November, which makes him more powerful than Mao Zedong.
Right.
And he's made it very clear there cannot be any ripples, there can't be any problems. There's COVID-0 before November. So this is why this will carry on until November.
As a propaganda coup?
There can't be any negative.
Right, so it is, I am your... I mean, it's like the messianic status of Xi that will be established by the claim that COVID-0 has been achieved.
Well, in a nutshell, for the last 2 years, it's been very simple. The West is bad because they have COVID.
Right.
China's good because there's no COVID. And now, in the last few weeks, they've had to. How did you change that?
So they're doing it to avoid an outbreak, but an outbreak wouldn't be anywhere near as bad as the scale of the response suggests, except politically, as opposed to medically or fatally.
It could break the country.
Bingo. Okay.
It could break the country.
So
and
it wouldn't be, my God,
me.
look at the death rate. It would simply be, my God, look how badly they've contained it. Look how badly they failed to contain it this time.
The only reason the power can stay in power, the only reason the party can stay in power is by good news, good news, good news. And this will deride it. I'm not saying it will.
No, I understand.
It could deride it. And it's an incredibly difficult situation.
How's it going to end?
I think, how's it going to end? I think what's going to happen is they're going to change the direction. They're going to do some groupthink on what zero COVID is. They're going to accept it and they're going to deal with it, and the party will get through this.
Right.
I believe they will get through it. There's going to be no social revolution.
Sure.
So this is what they're dealing with right now, how to do the U-turn, how to say the West wasn't so stupid.
Okay.
This is we're going to follow.
They're going to have to massage the facts to reflect the new reality.